I don't even know where to start with this Indianapolis Colts team right now. Everyone sucked. Chris Ballard sucked. Shane Steichen sucked yesterday. Gus Bradley sucks. Anthony Richardson sucks. The defense, the offense, they're not, besides Jonathan Taylor, DeForest Buckner before he got hurt, and the offensive line, this entire football team sucked. Our captains on the defensive side of the football, Zaire Franklin and E.J. Speed, cannot make a tackle to save their lives. I don't know where Latu is. I don't know where Kwity Paye is. I don't know where Grover Stewart is. Kenny Moore just got paid. He looked like crap. Jalen Jones and DeLis Flowers, whoever's on the outside, they both suck. They're horrible. Get them out. Don't want to see them next year. We're already talking about next year because, let's face it, this year is over. We're not going anywhere. This is the worst team in the NFL. One of the worst, if not the worst. And it's just a matter of facts, man. It's just a matter of facts. It's year after year. Chris Ballard band-aids positions. They're my guys. Give them time. They're our guys. Let's keep our guys. Well, if your guys aren't working, you need to go and find someone else. And obviously, whatever you're doing is not working, Chris. It's time to move on from Chris Ballard. He's stubborn. He doesn't change. It's the same thing after every game. During every halftime, we talk about the same things. Those secondary before every game. Halftime, after every game, after every season, in the offseason, it's the same bull crap. He trades backs every draft and think he's going to get more players. Oh, he's going to get more players, and that means more depth. No, we got nothing. We got nothing, even though he has more picks and he has made so many picks. We've got absolutely nothing. This Colts team is so mediocre, and what has been under Chris Ballard has been mediocre, but, half the time they've been absolute dog crap. Chris Ballard's made the playoffs. He's only made the playoffs twice under his tenure for the Colts in 8 years. Andrew Luck retired, 7, 8 years ago? That's not an excuse anymore. Forget about it. After this long, you still don't have, you still can't use that for an excuse. It's just so pathetic where this team is. Why is Chris Ballard so stubborn? And, Gus Bradley sucks, obviously. You don't even need to mention that. But if you followed this game in any capacity yesterday, you would know that 10-16 score, that box score, doesn't do any justice to how this game went. In the first quarter, the Packers ran for 161 yards. They ultimately ran for 200 and some throughout the day. The first half, the defense was horrible. The second half, the defense, figured something out, but really, the Packers had to do anything. Not really. Josh Jacobs, they only ran the ball for 24 yards in the second half. But, throughout 2 weeks of this season, the Colts have allowed almost 500 rushing yards. And you want to know what's crazy about yesterday? Jonathan Taylor and this Colts offense, they were running the ball pretty well, man. They were running the ball really efficiently, really effectively. But you want to know how many carries Jonathan Taylor had? I think it was like 12 or 13. You know how many times that the Packers rushed in total? I'll give you a second. Take a guess. Okay. 53 times the Green Bay Packers ran against the Colts. 53 times. And the Colts ran, 20, 19? I think 18 times they ran the ball. Why? The Packers have one of the worst, don't have a good rushing defense. I can't even say the worst because the Colts are the worst. But the Packers have a bad rushing defense. And you were running the ball really effectively and efficiently when you were running the football. So why were you trying to pass the ball with Anthony Richardson throw up 34 times? Why? Anthony Richardson doesn't know how to see a field. He doesn't know how to throw accurate. He overthrows everything. And what is on target is just an interception because he's not throwing to an open guy. He's throwing on target to someone, but he's throwing right to a defender. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. 3 interceptions yesterday. 4 interceptions this year so far. One was a Hail Mary. Fine, whatever. Even if you take that away, it's 3 interceptions in 2 games. And all of them were bad. This entire football team is dog crap. The entire football team. And I'm losing my train of thought, here and there. And do it all the time, but dude. It's sick. It's sickening. Let's go back and look at the 3rd and 10. Right? You don't run an all football game towards the end of the game, 3rd and 10. You're trying to get in the end zone, make it a 1-score game. You do eventually, but the 3rd and 10, you run the football. You run the football on the 3rd and 10. Close to the end of the game. You don't have a lot of time left. You need to punch it in. 3rd and 10. One of the biggest third downs in the game. You run it. And guess what? Jonathan Taylor didn't run the football there. So who made that decision to not run with Jonathan Taylor there? Who? Who in their right mind would run the ball when your biggest downs and not give it to your best playmaker? The only players that aren't at fault from yesterday, I think I already said this, but are Jonathan Taylor, Buckner. I don't even know. I've recorded this so many times, I don't know where to start with this football team. I could talk about this football team all day. They're really bad. Everything is really bad. And it sucks. We have to deal with this for the next 15 to 16 games. 15, 16 games, 15 I think, because we get the bye out of 18 weeks. We have to watch this for the next 15 games. And you think about yesterday, right? We're very fortunate that Jordan Love didn't play. Jordan Love played, we would have probably lost by 40, 50 points because the secondary is so bad. You know how good Malik Willis looked all right yesterday. Barely threw the football because the Packers ran down the Colts' throat. Why would they stop when they could, when they don't need to? Why put out a flame that's still burning? Why? Unfortunately, Shane Steichen didn't keep running the football. If he ran all day, we would have maybe won this game in the second half. But it's contradictory to say that this wasn't a close game. Same time we had a chance at the end, but it wasn't a close game. It wasn't. We had a chance, but it wasn't a close game. That makes sense because it never felt like the Colts were in it. Never. It was such an embarrassing performance. You go back to the Jaguars game and a couple of years ago, we got knocked out of the playoffs. All we needed to do was win that football game, and we got killed by the Jaguars. We got dominated by the Jaguars. This feels just about as bad as that did. You know how many times this team has failed in big moments? You know, look at the defense again. Let's go back to the defense, okay? Look at how bad the secondary is. That's a big reason. The secondary is horrible. Chris Ballard, every single offseason, doesn't address a secondary. He's like, oh, okay, we got our guys. We just drafted guys. We have to give them time. They're young. You know, give these guys a chance. Well, okay, Chris Ballard. We've been waiting 8 years for at least a half-decent secondary. We've never got one. So how much time do you really need to put together a secondary? You had the chance to go and trade for L'Jarius Sneed this offseason, but no, a division rival in Tennessee Titans went and got him. Explain that to me. Explain it to me. The Colts have never had a half-decent secondary under Chris Ballard. Maybe except for the Andrew Luck year. Maybe there was 1 or 2 seasons where we had a middle-of-the-road secondary. Other than that, it's been dog crap. It's been towards the bottom. One of the worst. Can't stop the pass. Malik Willis looks really good yesterday. Can't stop the run. Defense can't get any worse. And offensively, like, what's going on with the offense? Like, Anthony Richardson, he's not good. He's not a good quarterback. He's not the future, okay? I mean, he's just not. And look, I like Shane Steichen, but I feel like he's very limited with what he's working with in Anthony Richardson, okay? Anthony Richardson doesn't see the field well. He's not accurate. He overthrows all the time. He makes really poor decisions. There are a couple times where he could have tucked the ball, and just ran with it. He didn't. He just tried forcing it. 4 interceptions in the first couple weeks. What is he doing? And I think Shane Steichen is really limited with Anthony Richardson. Honestly, at this point, I would probably rather see Joe Flacco the rest of the year than Anthony Richardson, to be honest with you. Because you look at the weapons we have, Joe Flacco will at least we'll be able to get the ball to the weapons. But where has Michael Pittman been? Where has all the players been that we have paid a lot of money to? Talk about Pittman, that reminds me. Pittman, we just paid him big money. He's been, where has he been? He could have been on the bench for all I know, because I don't know if he has 1 catch. I mean, he might have 1 or 2 catches, but where has Michael Pittman been? What has he done? He has disappeared the first 2 weeks here after getting paid. Kenny Moore, he's another player that got paid. He looks like absolute crap too. It just sucks. It does. But this team is one of the worst in the NFL. And, I don't know why they didn't run with Jonathan Taylor more. I don't know why you don't run the ball more. I think Shane Steichen was he beat himself. He was overthinking too much. Defense was just horrible under Gus Bradley. I mean, no pressure at all. Couldn't stop the run, obviously. Jalen Jones, Willis Flowers, they're horrible. Kenny Moore was horrible. And you know, what's funny is on the defense is our captains. And Zaire Franklin, and then of course you do have EJ Speed as well. They can't make a tackle to save their lives. These two linebackers talked all the crap, all the shit that they can in the offseason, and now that's what they look like. They look like crap. They can't do anything. They look horrible. They talked all this smack, and they look horrible right now. This front seven I thought was going to be a strength of this defense. Obviously, it's even worse. It is even worse than the secondary, which I didn't think was possible, but it is. And now that Buckner's going to be out, it's not looking good. Not looking good. I wouldn't be shocked if we get 2 or 3 wins this season. We have a top. We are going to have a top 5 pick next year, and it needs to be a quarterback. You know, where's Pittman been? You know, Alec Pierce is another player we can talk some good about. At least Alec Pierce has played pretty well. Like, Alec Pierce is our number 1 receiver right now. He's playing like a number 1 receiver. He's consistently catching the football, which he struggled with the first couple of years. He's making big plays down the field, and Alec Pierce has been impressive. How about our tight ends? Where have tight ends been? You know, Jelani Woods is hurt. Fine, whatever. He's been hurt, since he got here. He can't stay healthy. He's a walking Band-Aid. Okay, but Colin Granson looks absolutely horrible. Why is Granson out there? He has done nothing right. He slipped in the first game and, led to an interception. Even if you want to just blame that on him, AR still threw a bad ball. And he didn't look good yesterday. And it's just horrible football all around the ball. All around, it's horrible football. So it's time to get rid of Chris Ballard. After this offseason, there better be some big moves made. It's time to get rid of Chris Ballard. It's time to get rid of Gus Bradley. You should fire him now, honestly. You shouldn't even make it to the end of the season. And have someone else step up. Dear God, I don't care who, as long as it's not Gus Bradley. I'd rather have Chuck Pagano back, calling our defense, than him. It's dog crap. And this team is always mediocre under Ballard. That's that's the thing. I get it if you want to build through the draft and take your time and homegrown talent and have a strong foundation, but we don't even have a strong foundation anymore. Because he doesn't get aggressive when we're looking good, he doesn't even looking good. And he doesn't go out and make moves that we need. Like, look at the secondary. All practice squad players are. On any other team, these players would be practice squad guys. Nick Cross has 29 tackles, by the way, and that tells you for his safety how many tackles he has had to make because of how bad the front seven and how bad we are at tackling. Offense, like I said, the offensive line is okay. JT is okay. Downs was hurt. Adonai Mitchell had a bad game too. I mean, this team is pathetic. I know I was all over this video. I didn't, I was really all over. Really was. But, when you have a team this bad, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But Colts not looking good, man. I want to hear what you guys think about this Colts team. I think it's time to get rid of Gus Bradley and Chris Ballard. I would like to keep Shane Steichen and Jim Bob Cooter. Unfortunately, they might be scapegoats. Might lose them because of that. It might be scapegoats. I don't want to see Shane Steichen go. It's another thing. If Chris Ballard does leave or gets fired at the end of the year, when a new regime comes in, new GM, is he going to want his own guy at head coach? Probably. So we might lose Shane Steichen to that. It would absolutely suck. It really would. But time to clean house. It's time for a new era completely in Indianapolis because nothing is working out. Nothing. The entire team looked like dog shit. The first half of the game, defense was dog shit. Second half, somehow it was okay. Even though this game was 10-16, this game was never close. Never was close. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this team. If you enjoy Colts football, Colts content, this is your place to be. Make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. Like I said, thoughts weren't really complete in this video. It was really all over the place. I'm sorry for that, but it's hard to stay in one spot when you don't even know where to start with this football team. So, time for a new era, time for new people in Indy to arrive, and some people to get the hell out and never come back. So, it's JDW Sports Talk Show. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, put the post notification bell on. Don't miss any future videos. Catch you guys next time.